Hey, hello guys, welcome back to Chris Flies Planes. Chris here of course, and today we are back in the Mirage 2000c for mission 4 of the campaign. You can see we're in an extremely active airfield right now. I've got a little L-39 Albatross flying past, a C-130 by the looks of it. There's the Albatross wingman there. We're going to jump in here and we're going to close the cockpit so I can actually hear myself think. And we are going to get going. So it's been a long time since we have flown one of these missions. I'm pretty excited. Let's have a look at the briefing actually before we get going. So this is the radar mission, which means we're going to start out training with radar. But as we all know with these missions, it's going to end up with something else happening. So we're just going to jump in and get going here. So I have my checklist in front of me. So parking brake is off. Just make sure that's resumed. Battery is on. I'm just going to, let's do this. Power transfer, alternator 1, alternator 2 are all on. INS mode should be set to align. I think I've got that set to auto right now anyway. But just in case, yeah, we do have set that to auto. So let's set that to nav. Let's radio through to our ground crew and get some ground power in.
Copy.
Once we get our ground power on, we can turn our radios on.
Ground power is now on.
Okay, that is our radios on. So we should be hearing from our guys pretty soon. In the meanwhile, let's continue working through our checklist. So autopilot test switch should be covered. Should be this one here.
2-1, red radio check. 1-2, leave Charlie. Alright, green radio check. How copy? 2 copies. 1, I will contact Faziani on green 1 and ask for startup. When we're ready, we will then take off and join up with Colt 04 flight at waypoint 3. Let me know when you're ready, taxi. Welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to radio Vatiani and get our startup.
1-1, request startup.
Is Mirage 2000c taking off? Okay, let's continue working through our checklist here. So FBW, the fly-by-wire test switch should be covered. The afterburner cutoff switch should be covered. The emergency oil pump should be covered. These guys, emergency computer switch, fuel dump switch. This is the computer switch, fuel dump switch. Tape recorder should be on, which I believe is no. No. Who knows? It's not active anyway. Fly-by-wire gain switch should be covered, which is probably one of these guys. Is it up all the way up here? Fly-by-wire gain mode switch, yep. Emergency trim should be set to N, which it is. Relight switch should be set to off, which it is. Radar off, scoops, S-cones and slats on auto. So that is up here, so auto, auto and auto. Anti-collision light should be off. Navigation lights, formation lights should be off. Anti-skid switch should be covered. The emergency throttle should be covered, which I believe is this. What we got? Refuel, landing and police lights are all off. UHF as required, UHF as required, fly-by-wire mode as required, and parachute lever, emergency canopy lever towards the rear, parachute lever towards the front. So we're looking pretty good on that. Let's head over to our main instruments panel. The master arm should be set to off, which it is. The selective jettison switch should be covered. Standby ADI should be uncaged. Main ADI mode should be normal, and FBW spin should be normal. Let me just go to the next page here. I very much recommend printing out a checklist. If you do play this game, it is much easier than trying to remember anything. Altitude indicator should be set, which it is. Head up display should be on. Head down display should be on. Radio frequency display should be checked, and that's fine. IFF should be set to out, 3A and C. So, can I not switch up? 3A and C. HSI should be set to nav, which it is. Transfer test switch should be tested, which is that. It doesn't look like that's activated. It's not. Bingo fuel selector should be fine, which is at 1200. Engine fire warning lights tested is not in the game yet, and lights test both tested, which is, I believe, here. It's looking fine there. Right instrument panel, audio alert should be down. Oxygen should be checked, which is just, oh sorry, the QRA alert should be down, which is here. Oxygen should be tested, which is fine. Hydraulic emergency pump should be tested and off, which is fine. Audio alert should be off. Canopy should be down. Canopy is down because that's how we can hear. VOR ILS should be off, which is this. TACAN mode should be off. Emergency horizon should be normal. That's not activated. Cabin air conditioning should be on and auto. I'm just going to zoom in here to make reading this a little bit easier. On and auto. Deep hole demist should be off, which is. Interior lights as required. They're not required. Starter fuel pump, which is, I believe, this one, should be off. Engine left and right fuel boost pump should be off. Ventilation should be set on G or D. LP main cock switch cover should be open. LP main cock switch should be on, and circuit breakers should be checked. So we're looking pretty great for that. Let's get our parking brake set. Chocks removed is not actually in the game yet. Gonna close our LP main cock switch and get it covered. Gonna do our starter fuel pump, our engine boost pumps, this, and press. And we can start to see our RPM coming up immediately there. As soon as that hits 10, we're going to push the throttle forward to idle. Okay, so we should see hydraulic 1, hydraulic 2 going off, which we did, and we're looking pretty great. I'm going to call up ground crew and get our ground power off. Now we are running on our own accords.
Chief, turn off the ground power.
Copy.
Okay, start switch cover can get closed. Starter fuel pump can go off. Ventilator selector can be set to vent. INS can be set to nav, which it is. GPU disconnected, we've just done. VOR ILS set. Let's just see what they're meant to be set as. Doop-a-doop-doo. Do-do-do. Right, 22X and 108.75. Not entirely sure why I sang Indiana Jones there. Should really be Highway to the Danger Zone, I'm sure. 108.75. Hope everyone's extremely excited about Top Gun 2, by the way. I did see that they have got a sneak peek trailer online now, which is well worth a watch. If you do, it's going to be very apparent that Tom Cruise has not aged, and clearly Scientology is the right religion, because it seems to make you live forever. Right, where are we at? Derailed myself somewhat there. So the ILS can get switched on, the TACAN can get switched on, hydraulic emergency pump and anti-ice can go on as well. So on and on. That was the audio warning. There's the hydraulics. Okay, main instruments. IFF should be set to standby, which is actually set down here, but I'm just going to pop that on now, and then I'm going to set that to 2012, which is our IFF code. Left instruments, autopilot. Let's just run. Oh, hello. Let's run through our tests here. So we are going to test the autopilot. So we're going to switch that on. We're going to wait for a green light there. There we go. Let's test our fly-by-wires. We're going to go down, and we're going to wait for a green light, and then we're going to go up, and then we're going to wait for a green light. Green light. Let's go up. Green light, there we go. So anti-collision light should be on. Rudder deflection we can check. I'm not sure we can check that. Oh, we can. That's all looking fine. Flight controls are all clear and functional. Air brake. is fine, I'm guessing. Slats extended, check extended, slats auto, check retracted, blah 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 blah. We can probably do that if we want to. I'm actually not too fussed, really. I don't want to have to look outside the plane. I think we can probably trust that it's working. Let's head over to taxiing. So our altitude indicator is checked. Exterior lights as required. This should be set to the taxi lighting, of course. Nose wheel steering should be on. Little blue light there, for anyone who's wondering. It's a little bit of a elusive one, that. Taxi area should be clear. Parking brake should be released. Audio alert should be on. Caution warning lights panel all off. We are looking great. Let's check our brakes quickly. I'm not sure where the actual brakes, the hydraulic thing is, but there we go. I think we are looking pretty grand. Let's call through to the ATC, get our taxi request.
Request taxi to runway.
And we're going to hold the brakes and we're going to start throttling up now. There is our clearance. Going a little bit fast for taxi here, but there we go. Let's get her slowed down. Start getting her turned here, and let's get our takeoff clearance.
Request takeoff.
Okay, so takeoff's not much to do really. Landing lights should be set to landing, so let's pop them up. Canopy is down and locked. Caution warning lights panel all off. Military power set, and then we're going to increase to maximum power, release our brake. We're going to rotate 120 knots. I can tell you now we're not going to be rotating 120 knots. We're going to be rotating at around probably 140, 150 today, because we have got the external fuel tank on. So let's hold our brakes, throttle her forward to 100. And go. There's a little bit of wind today, not too much. There's 140, and beautiful. Keep going, go on. I heard what sounded like a tail strike there. Looking all fine though. Just gonna pop it back out of afterburner. Nose are up to about 15 degrees here, and I'm gonna stick autopilot on there. We can turn our landing lights off. I think we're pretty grand on that. Everything else is looking alright. Let's get the radar switched over here. Let's get that out. I'm going to turn on the countermeasures as well. And let's just turn out towards waypoint 1 a little bit more. So we're going to be shooting for about 15,000 here, so let's get that locked in the autopilot. We are looking great. Nice blue skies, a little bit of scattered cloud, not too bad. Looks like at 15,000 we're going to be right in the middle of it though, which isn't ideal. Autopilot's now levelling us out. I'm going to throttle her back a touch more, take her out of afterburner. There we go. Actually, now we're levelling out. I'm going to throttle her back to 50% power. And let's start our turn over towards waypoint 2. I was just going to call up our flight and go formation. Let's go close formation.
Close formation.
And let's go flight. Let's go line abreast.
Go line abreast.
Well, I would say that was a very smooth startup and takeoff. I'm just going to flip my mirror. I do like having a mirror. Not sure how much it's going to tank frame rates here, but it's nice to be able to see behind you. So we're about 40 nautical miles from waypoint 2, and then I think it's another 40 nautical miles to waypoint 3, and then we should be joining up with Colt 4, I believe, who's going to take us through the radar training, and then we're going to find out what kind of little mystery thing is going to happen at the end of this mission. There certainly seems to be something every single mission. But yeah, I am fairly excited about Top Gun 2, it's fair to say. I'm going to try and watch it with my dad if possible. But yeah, they've released the trailer now, which is pretty exciting. So Tom Cruise is of course in it. Amazingly enough, Val Kilmer's also in it, which is, well, I'm frankly amazed he's still alive, let alone still acting. But I'm guessing, well, at least I know that Tom Cruise is going to be an instructor in the film. But I'm sure he'll get to do some flying, I don't doubt. I saw a couple of action scenes in the trailer. It looks pretty fantastic. I'm super excited. I actually don't think they're going to make a mess of it. Yeah, I'm pretty jazzed. How many of you guys have been flying the new Hornet? I do really want it, but it is so expensive. Even with the money I have saved up in DCS in the shop from buying everything else, it's still going to cost I think like £41. So it's about £60 default price, which is pretty insane to be honest. It's a lot of money. I appreciate a lot of work goes into these and a lot of fun is obtained from them, so I'm not going to complain too much. But I would very much like to be able to afford it a bit sooner. But I'm super excited to give that a go. And yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think about that. Also, what other good campaigns are there in DCS? Because I'm hoping now we're kind of recording again, hopefully recording a lot more, we're going to be flying through this campaign pretty fast. I do want to do the Huey campaign, the UN pilot Huey campaign, just for a bit of a change. I also saw someone online was doing the A10 campaigns, but with the Harrier, and I thought that might be quite fun. But if not, it might be fun to try and find some campaigns with the Harrier anyway. And then there's a load of single missions as well. I wouldn't mind doing some stuff in the L-39 and the Hawk as well. I do have both those planes. I very much enjoy the L-39. I get a good kick out of it. And the Hawk is, as it happens, it's an aircraft that's getting a bit more familiar to me. I've just moved to North Wales a couple of weeks ago. Just north of the Mach Loop, for any of you guys who do know about UK low-level flying. So we are, yeah, about, I don't know, 40-50 miles north of the Mach Loop. And we get treated to Hawks flying overhead all day, every day. Saw one go over about 200 foot a couple of days ago, flying down the valley we live in, which is pretty amazing. And our landlord was saying that they quite often get Hercules C-130s flying low level through here as well, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, the Hawks definitely is something I'm getting very used to hearing and seeing. So maybe we should do some more flights in that. Anyway, we're about 18 nautical miles from waypoint 2.
Have you had a chance to play with the radar on your previous sorties? A little, yeah. It's really not too different from the Starship. I've learned a base scope right away, and it seems to work in a similar way. Yeah, copy that. It has a shorter range though, right? Correct. Up to 80 miles. But come on. The Eagle won't even see anything from that far unless it's a friggin' Star Destroyer. I'd say it's comparable. Yeah, one copy. Attack Colt. While you're on your way, let's go over the basics of the ISS. The ISS tunnel is located just below the ILS. To enable it, you need to move the ISS selector dial, so one most of the height to the effect or don't float. IFF is active. Friendlies are indicated by a diamond symbol on the contact in the laboratory screen. Also, locked friendly aircraft will display letter A for unfriend in the logbox. Those without the diamond symbols are not necessarily hostile. They just don't respond to the IFF interrogation. So exercise extreme caution before engaging such monkeys. I'm not sure to confirm your records in the AMC. Alright, contact me when you have to signal. Pontiac copies.
Okay, well, like good boy fighter pilots, we already had our IAF set up anyway from takeoff, so we don't have to do any of that, but good to know maybe. We can now start our turn towards waypoint 3, about 20 more nautical miles. And it looks like this might be Colt off our nose. Let's just lock him up and see if I can. Hello? Look up. Lock up. No? Just going to try bringing in the search range here. Tends to help. No? Still no lock up. Who's this? Looks like... who knows? Anyway, we'll find out fairly imminently. 15 nautical miles to waypoint 3. I'm sure I say it in every single video I fly these missions, but I do love these missions. They kind of capture just the right level of realism, just the right level of kind of sitting around, so to speak, just kind of waiting to hit waypoints, flying patrols. I do really love the realism. I love it's not just action, action, action. And the voice acting's pretty great as well, so... yep, love this campaign. Looking forward to seeing where it takes us. I'm hoping it doesn't get too hard, though. I've been trying to do a lot of air-to-air combat in the Mirage, and it is a real bitch. It just seems like you constantly get radar locks and missiles fired before you get within range of your own missiles. So, yeah. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, who knows. 8 nautical miles. I'm guessing that's Colt off our nose there. See if we can pick him up on... yep, looks like there we go. That is visual.
Colt 04 Pontiac, we have you visual. Pontiac, Colt copies. Climb to 18,000 and anchor at the current position. Let's go through the basics of your radar. Say when ready.
Let's pop a 5 degrees nose up here. Actually, we can go 10 degrees nose up, getting a bit more gas. And let's report on station.
Colt 04 Pontiac is ready to go. M2000c is equipped with the Untitled Chapter RDI radar with a maximum range of 80 nautical miles, horizontal arc of 120 degrees, and effective vertical arc of around 12 degrees. One thing to remember, because of limited vertical arc, you may not target that are much higher or lower than you. You can switch between different functions of the radar using the control panel located on the left console behind the throttle. First, the basics. The power switch has 4 different positions: off, warm up, standby, and on. Below there is a test button, and further down you will find a screen mode selector. You can choose between 2 display modes: PPI, representing total view, and B-scope, to which you are probably used to from your F-15s.
Another important switch is the one on the bottom left of the panel, allowing you to choose the range in which your radar will operate. 5, 10, 20, 40, or 80 miles. The switch in the middle of the panel is used to change the mode in which the radar operates. In BFR, which is the low PRF mode, the radar beam is nearly impervious to nothing, but highly susceptible to sharp returns. It has reduced range and there is no possibility to have targets. The contact icons are displayed on the CTV and roller squares. The center position is called ESC and tries to cover the neutral ground between the low and high PRF. Radar operates at increased range and targets can be locked only in TWS. Finally, the HFR mode, you have a full Doppler radar at your disposal. It is susceptible to notching, but not to ground returns, and it operates at max available range. Both STG and TWS are disposable. It is the only mode that can guide weapons. Two more useful functions are the bar and balayage, used for the vertical and horizontal aperture settings. Think of bar as between 1 and 4 lines placed at 3-degree intervals in front of your plane. The radar beam will sweep through them going from top to bottom and then working its way back up, covering the vertical area of 3 degrees for each of the lines, which means maximum of 12 degrees. At least according to the producer, but in reality we end up closer to around 8 degrees off. Still, the larger zone it will have to monitor, the longer it will take for the full cycle to complete.
So I'm actually going to just jump in here for controls and change my radar mode. Or add radar controls, I should say. So I do think with this the PRF selection, not the PRF, the switching between BRF and HRF might be really useful in terms of combat. PPI modes, IFF modes, B-scope, azimuth. What if I just set high? Well, let's just do this. Let's do that. Let's see what that changes.
Balayage has a similar function, but covers the horizontal arc, which can be set.
Okay, that kind of works. Let's just see. I wonder if this is kind of useful for trying to get in closer before we get locked up. So let's do that and that.
60 degrees, 30 degrees.
I got that wrong way around. Hold on a second. Bear with me. So that wants to be 19. Let's clear that. So 19, and this wants to be 18. So low, high. Okay, cool.
Effective coverage of 10 degrees, 60 degrees, or 30 degrees in front of your plane. Again, the wider the setting, the longer it will take for the radar to complete the sweep and the shorter the effective detection range. In other words, if you want to lock something located further away, you should use the 15-degree arc. Alright, do you have any questions before we move on?
I have no questions.
No questions. Everything's clear.
Fine, on to your first tasking then. You are to intercept an AN-26 plane using AWACS calls and your radar. Once you get a contact, report back to me. I will be following you and will give you more information.
Pontiac copies.
Do we have a card for AWACS calls? AWACS call. Dark. Oh, no, that's not what I meant to do. F7. Bogey dope. Here we go.
Star, Pontiac 1-1. Request bogey dope.